I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the head of school and the school manager along with the school management committee members. So welcome to Suva. Ministry officials, media representatives, ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincere pleasure to officially hand over a boat and engine which I know will positively affect the lives of 59 students at this school. These students will have safer and more convenient transportation to and from their homes to school. Ladies and gentlemen, this handover is part of the initiative rolled out by the government, and it started in 2014, which aims to improve travel for students, particularly those living in remote and rural areas. And the key reason why this initiative is being rolled out by the government is to ensure that each and every child can access education. Not that a child is left behind simply because they cannot afford rural transportation or they cannot afford boat fares. And we have also personally witnessed that transportation is a little bit more expensive in rural and remote areas. So by providing boat and engine, it simply means that the school, head of school and the school manager is in control. They know exactly when to pick the students and when to drop them home. There is no excuse by no one that my child cannot go to school. There is no reason. So it's a good initiative, and such initiative allows equity within the system. It enables every child to access education, no matter where the child lives, whether you live in urban area, rural, peri-urban, or in remote or maritime area. No reason whatsoever. Personally, I am inspired by our students who live in maritime areas and they have to travel by boat every day. Instead of traveling by bus, students get to have an amazing life experience. And that shows their strength and toughness, which we generally see in maritime students, rough and tumble. They can handle situations as it arises. So that is one of the wonderful things about life in Fiji, where we get to have such diverse experiences depending on where we reside. Living in a maritime environment, I know the parents here can appreciate the importance of that boat. For some of us, it's just a boat, but for others, it's more than a boat. It's an everyday transportation for them. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier on, both that we provide, the textbooks that we provide, it all contributes to our equitable access to education, which is one of our primary goals of our government, and it is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goal number 4. And we provide many forms of assistance to students, and not only to students, but we also provide assistance to the school management committee members and the community itself. We acknowledge and appreciate the fact that the schools are owned by the school management committee and the community. The school management committee is the conduit between the community and the Ministry of Education. You are the ones through which we communicate. We communicate through the school management committee. And when we communicate any policy or any assistance that we roll out, this message then goes to the community with the help of the school management committee. So school management committee, you play a very important role, extremely important, because you can convince the Ministry of Education in terms of what you need, and similarly you can change the behavior within the community when it comes to upkeep of the boat, usage of the boat, or simply sending the children to school. Over the years, the government has been providing free education grant, and free education grant is to ease the burden of our community members. Gone are the days when community members used to have SOLI, they used to have various forms of fundraising, targeted fundraising, and they worked extremely hard to collect all this money, which could then be used in improving the school facility. Today, the rural schools are given slightly more money as compared to the urban schools. Our formula is such, we are taking care of smaller schools by creating an advantage to these schools by using a formula that actually helps small schools in getting a little bit more money as compared to larger schools. And this is done again to help the school management committee to carry out the repair works, to make sure that the teaching and learning environment is conducive. You know, it's such a pleasure going to schools. Now you will see the fans are there in schools, classrooms are tiled. Some of the schools have, the whole compound is fenced. So different schools have utilized the funds in different way. And we encourage schools to utilize these funds, making sure that the environment is good for our children. At the end of the day, our children spend a lot more hours in schools than at home. Because when they go home, they're too tired that they'll probably play around and after that do their homework and go off to sleep. And then again get up in the morning and they spend their productive time in a classroom setting. So it's important that we create this conducive environment for our children. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to emphasize that despite our small size, every year, government contributes 20% of our national budget towards education, which is around 7% of our GDP, which is not a small amount of money. And that demonstrates the commitment the government has made towards education. And it is a very serious commitment. It's not one-off. Each and every year, we try and improve the system. Just last year, we made things better for our girl students by providing free sanitary pads. That was a new initiative added to the various assistance that we provide under the education banner, you can say, under the education sector. And we will try our level best to find ways and means to continue assisting our schools, and particularly in new initiatives or new areas. Ladies and gentlemen, Fijian government also assists Fijians who are in need. They're facing probably some financial difficulties. Those who do can also apply for social welfare assistance in the form of care and protection allowance to support their children. So that's another initiative which is under Ministry of Social Welfare. We even provide for those children who are not even born by providing food vouchers for rural pregnant mothers, because we believe that through good nutrition during pregnancy, that will lead to stronger and healthier children. So, ladies and gentlemen, with the transport assistance, it is seen that the attendance of our children has improved. but we do encourage parents to make sure that their children are in school every day. Every day. They can be out of school if they are sick. But besides that, there is no other reason why they should not be in school. When we make such investments in the education sector, we always look for the returns. What is there for the government? Why are we pumping so much money in the education sector? We're doing that. We're doing that to create a knowledge-based society. We're doing that to improve the quality of life of our people so that they can come out of poverty. If they are facing financial difficulties through education, by gaining skills and knowledge, they'll be able to find jobs, and by finding jobs, they'll be able to improve not only their lives, but their family's life. And that's why we are so focused on education. Because again, with the knowledge-based economy, we can build a stronger nation. And that's what we all should be focusing on. A nation cannot be just developed through a handful of people. We need each and every person, each and every citizen, each and every Fijian to come together to build our nation. And one way of doing that is obviously through education. You know, we have come across a lot of stories where children had to travel on a horseback, they had to cross rivers and streams, they had to climb over the mountain to reach their schools. And it's not easy for the little ones to do that. It's not fun. You know, for an urban student, it's a fun because it's one-off. But for children who live in that situation, it's an everyday affair. They have to do that in order to reach the schools. And to assist our students, we're also providing RSL services in remote and rural areas. If you are wondering how much money we have spent from 2014 just on transport sector, let me tell you, we have spent close to around $180 million so far in free bus fare, providing boat and engines, and also RSL services that's been provided in remote and rural areas. So it's not a small amount of money that we are talking about. And it is all done for good cause. That is for the education of our children. And we also believe that education can unlock doors to countless opportunities and infinite possibilities. And for that, the government support is extremely important, extremely important. And I encourage the School Management Committee to work hand in hand with the community to see how you can encourage children in remote areas, particularly maritime zone, to excel in their education, and so that at one time they can hold good position in the government service or in the private sector. And there are a number of good examples that we have around us where children from maritime areas, they have done extremely well in the job market. So today's handover of the boat and engine signifies additional responsibility to the School Management Committee. You need to come up with the help of the head of school. You need to come up with some rules. When are you going to use this boat? Do note, this boat is only used for transporting school children. It cannot be used for anything else. Please understand that. and the operating procedure must be developed by the head of school in consultation with the school management committee members, and that will be guided by our divisional head representing the Eastern Division. He has to ensure that the operating procedure is in place along with the maintenance plan. You can use FAG to buy fuel and to carry out maintenance work. So when we visit your school next, you cannot say, oh, but our boat is parked on the side because it has got some engine problem or it was not maintained properly. There is no reason for that, no reason. We want that boat to be used by more children in your village. Children who have not even enrolled in your school. But that's how good you have to keep the boat so that more children can use the boat for their education. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for coming over and to receive the boat and engine, the most awaited item. I know some of you have been knocking on the doors and asking, by when can you receive your boat and engine? Well, today is the day. And from today, our responsibility ends and your responsibility starts in ensuring that the boat is always in a working condition. So Vinaka Vakalevu, thank you very much.
The Honorable Minister for Education, Heritage and Arts, Mrs. Premila Kumar. Today will remain one of the most important days of our lives. And there are so many people who would like to thank you, Madam. But due to the geographical location and its remoteness, the whole village cannot come here today. On behalf of the students of Tovu Village School, the teachers, the school manager and his committee, and the community of Tovu, I would like to thank you, Madam, for making the students' dream of Tovu Village School come true. I assure you that the boat will only be used for its purpose and not for fishing or collecting coconuts. We are honored to be receiving a boat and a 60 horsepower engine worth about $40,000 for free. In the Bible it states, and I quote, "Blessed are those that give from those that receive." Once again, Madam, the Vanu of Narodaki are so thankful to you and the Ministry of Education, Heritage and Arts for prioritizing the students' education and their welfare. Please convey this message to the Honorable Minister and to our government, the Fiji Federal Government. Thank you.